Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Wanted to welcome you guys to, I believe, episode 9 of Shoot or Shoot with Chris, with me, your host, Chris McClain Mestis. And on today's show, again, just as every show, we have a very special guest. This week, we have the JetSetter, Carrington Banks, a professional MMA fighter with the record of 9-2, fighting out of Denver, Colorado with Team Elevation. So before we get Carrington on, let's just go get through a few things here. Today's show is brought to you by your local Jersey Plug 303, where you can get any jersey of your choice at affordable prices. And today we'll actually be doing another free giveaway. All you got to do is comment on the video, be involved in the conversation between Carrington and I, chime in, and your name will automatically be entered. And at the end of the show, we'll have a spin wheel, and the spin wheel will determine the winner. And the winner of that will win a free jersey of your choice. So definitely keep that in mind throughout the conversation. Like I said, tune in. Like I said, get involved in the conversation, and we'll go ahead and enter your name in the spin wheel, and you could win a free jersey. I myself have gotten obviously plenty of jerseys. I don't wear jerseys as much as I used to when I was younger, but I definitely, now that I can get them a little more, I definitely wear them. So I believe I want to say the last jersey I got was it was a purple throwback Kobe Bryant, number 24 Lakers jersey, obviously in honor of Kobe. So, I'm rocking it. I'm wearing it. And then obviously, I take care of people, some family friends, kind of get them, get them a little presents and little stuff like that. So, like I said, it's definitely a great deal. You get amazing deals with your Jersey Plug 303. Like I said, and you can contact them, obviously, if you don't win today, via Facebook, under your local Jersey Plug 303 name. If you don't have a Facebook, as I actually have a couple friends do, just go ahead and shoot me a DM. I will get you in contact with the company. And like I said, you can order literally anything you could think of. They also do customizes as well. And that's been really awesome too, customizing my own Broncos jersey, so I don't have to get a new one every year. Because it seems like whoever's jersey I get, they end up either getting traded, retiring, or what have you, so it's better to just have my own jersey, have my own name on the jersey. Let's actually go over a little bit about today's guest before we get him on there. And she said he should be here. Give me just a second, guys. I'm sorry. Nate. Actually, we got the man right here. He said he joined. He's a little late. Better late than never. Mr.
I know, man.
JetSetter.
The hotel, we know this raggedy Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So you're out in Las Vegas, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
I believe you're out there cornering a teammate, Mr. Corey Sandhagen, who fights this weekend on ESPN.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I was actually listening to his interview with Ariel Helwani just a little bit ago, and I see, Carrington Banks got a name drop.
Oh, what? What do you say?
Carrington Banks got a name drop. He was talking about you bringing your Xbox to keep y'all
Oh,
busy.
dang! I thought he was gonna say better than
I
that.
heard you guys. Yeah, I mean, he didn't go into too detail, but Corey, man, he seems like he's really locked in, especially with the interviews, because I'm sure he's got a lot more stuff to do later this week. But why don't you? Obviously, we'll start there. Why don't you just give us a little bit of background, like again, of even why you are in Vegas and what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm in Vegas. Came out with Corey. I've been wrestling with him for a little bit. He's fighting a wrestler, so he asked me to, you know, work with him a little bit. My bad. The stand is kind of. But yeah, he asked me to work with him a little bit, so we started working together, and he was teaching me some stuff. I was teaching him some stuff, so we was trading, and then now he has a fight, so we just start working on his wrestling, and it's helped me too. But yeah, that's basically how this whole thing happened, and then he asked me to come out to the fight with him, and he asked me to come out to the fight with him, so here we are.
Nice. Now, I also wanted to ask you, since you are out there, clearly you're going through the whole process, with the COVID test and as such as the UFC is doing. Tell me a little bit about that. Have you gotten would it be either be the throat test or the nose test? Either of them look pretty bad. So how was that for you? I'm sure you've got one.
Yeah, we did the throat test. I mean, it wasn't awful, but nobody likes to be having long sticks stuck.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm pretty sure don't nobody like having that, man.
Yeah,
Um,
it's what the situation requires.
of course. And what's the process out there? They got you guys wearing masks everywhere you go? Obviously, from what I had heard previously, you can leave the hotel, but you have to get tested once you come back and so forth.
They're gonna do another test tomorrow, and then Friday will be the last day that we can go in. We can't go anywhere on Friday, so like tomorrow we'll get tested, and then Friday we won't be able to leave anymore, and that'll be like the final results of the test. So they'll make sure that everybody's clear to be able to be in the arena. Like, and they were just tested hours ago, so they'll know for sure that everybody's safe.
Okay. So, and obviously, since you already got tested, I'm assuming no COVID for you, right?
I'm back.
That's good, man. That might be that Colorado air that's keeping you a little clean.
Exactly, it's lovely out.
One thing I want to get into, man, and this is all obviously a little more of a personal question, and this kind of I base it off of where I come from because it's nothing I ever seen. A little bit about your upbringing is you're originally from Illinois, which me personally I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought you came from Iowa, but then come to find out that's where you wrestled.
Yeah.
You don't give me the vibe of a guy that's from Illinois. So again, I would never guess that. But it's not a lot of black kids come from the hood that go to wrestling. Most of them are going to go play basketball, football, and so on and so forth. But what made you choose wrestling over everything else?
My big bro, he wrestled. I was 7 years old. Went and watched him wrestle in high school for the first time, and we was in the WWF and stuff like that. So we had never, we loved WWF, and we thought that was real. And we had never seen real wrestling. And then we watched him wrestle, and we were like, oh yeah, like we want to do that. So we started doing it in our sneakers, shorts, and t-shirt. Shoes, no wrestling singlet, no nothing. Yeah, we just showed up and we just started. And from then on, we just found our way into better positions, because we just wanted to be good at it. We just loved it.
And were you also, again, the proverbial basketball and football player as well?
Basketball before everything, like when you're from where I'm from, like you said, like the other sports were more popular. So, like, of course, you're going to hear about those and learn those first. So I was hooping before anything. And then I found out about wrestling. Really, it was just funny how it's just my calling.
Fair enough. I actually heard you've been playing a little bit of basketball out there since you guys have been in Vegas.
Yeah, how you know that?
Come on, man. You gotta. I know everything. Now, actually, Corey was talking about it again on his interview with Ariel Helwani earlier.
I had to scrape him real quick.
Really?
Yeah.
It's fun. It's funny you say that because Corey's pretty cocky when it comes to basketball.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, as far as the talk, but the JetSetter got him, huh?
He got to see.
I've had the pleasure too. It's not many wrestlers that can actually hoop, so
exactly. I'm straight.
Kudos on that. Now, just tell me about your MMA journey. Again, from assuming you picked that up right after college, with wrestling, and clearly you've been again from Illinois to Iowa to Atlanta to Florida now to Denver. Give me a little bit of background, and everybody a little bit of background about your journey into mixed martial arts.
Basically, I had some friends who fought in Iowa when I was in college still at the time, and my wrestling coach got us some tickets to one of the events. So, like, a lot of wrestlers were there, and a couple of dudes I knew who wrestled were fighting that night. So, like, it was like nice for me. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, I was like, heck yeah. So I'm there, I'm watching, and I'm just chilling with my coach. He was also a great friend of mine, watching the fights, chilling, just chatting, looking up, watching two dudes fight that were around my size. And I'm like, I could whoop both of them, and like just being cocky, just talking shit, feeling myself, whatever.
Okay.
So he kind of looked at me like, yeah, he like, you would do that? And I'm like, yeah, I do that. He like, like, I don't know. Like, he kind of didn't believe me. So later on in the night, like 30 minutes later, he brings the coach who's like training half the dudes on the card over because he was friends with him. That's how we got the tickets.
Uh-huh.
He brings him over and he like, hey, my man's right here want to basically fight. Like he said he want to try it out, and then the dude's like, oh, man, come through, come train with us. He's like, come for free. Like, just come, like, come train with us. So I put my foot in my mouth. So I ended up having to go out there and train with them, but I actually ended up enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm training there for a little bit. Next thing you know, like I never wanted to fight. Like I just thought it was fun. They needed wrestlers, and I wanted to learn how to fight because I later learned that I had no hands. Once I stepped, once I stepped into the gym, yeah, I'm like, I want to learn a little bit of this. So I kept showing up, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, we signed you up for a fight," and I was like, "No," I was like, "I'm not fighting." I was like, I told y'all, like that's why I'm in college. Like it's cool, like you're gonna win anyway. Like your wrestling's too good. Like just you should do it. Like you're too good, And I'm like, no, I already told y'all. They're like, and you'll get $600. And I was like, say what? 600. I'm in college. I'm like, say what? $600. That changes everything. So I decided to do it. From then on, I never stopped. And I just kept going, and I kept deciding to get more involved, deeply involved. Kept falling in love with it a little bit more, I guess.
And then obviously, and clearly, one of the biggest things is, as far as to where I first noticed you, was you were on the Ultimate Fighter, actually at 170 with the Black Zillions when the Black Zillions went up against the American Top Team. Tell me about that experience and fighting at 170, because you don't seem like a 170 pounder to me.
Absolutely not. I was when I was in that house, like like I luckily thank God got in the house. We had to like have basically wrestle off, fight offs for it in the gym.
Really?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was fun, but yeah, I made it into the house, and like as a 55 pounder, but it was nice because I didn't have to cut weight, and we're in the house for 7 weeks. You don't know when you're gonna fight, so you got to keep your weight down. There's a whole list where you can order any type of food that you want, and nobody could capitalize on it but me. So I was eating very well, like that was nice, and it was just a cool experience overall, like to be able to like put myself in that position of like, like being able to fight with all those guys, all those. I was only 3-0 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
like, and that was freshly in my career when I decided to take it seriously. So I had just moved down to Florida 7 months prior, and this big opportunity arose, and like I was like, well, I guess this is what I moved here for, And I was like, if it's at 170, it's at 170. So I ended up going in there, winning a fight, but they ended up taking the champion and a dude, Kamaru Usman, who was on the same season. So that's like let you know how deep it was.
Mm-hmm.
Davidson also ended up getting taken, who was on my team, which let you know how deep our team was. And they were only taking 2 people per team, and I was very green. I was down to weight, so I had no hard feelings. I was happy I got to get the experience, like overall, not just experiencing the show, but experiencing something of that magnitude was like good for me, So yeah,
So
it was.
tell me about your time with Kamaru Usman, who's now the current welterweight champion of the UFC and possibly one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world. You guys are good friends, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
We're
what does it mean to you to have him as the champion now, as a friend?
It's cool. It's cool. Like it's cool to watch your friends say they're gonna do something, work to do something, and watch them do it. Like it's inspiring. It's very cool. Like to be a part of and to, like have that, connection with a person who is doing something like that. And I personally just get a lot of inspiration from it. Like listening to some of the stuff he say, because like I don't agree with everybody about everything.
No, not at all. I know from experience.
Exactly. Like to like just be able to hear his views on stuff and watch him and see how he moves through life. I enjoy it. I feel grateful.
Now tell me what brought you ended up bringing you to Denver, Colorado, which ultimately ended up bringing you into my life and how I got to know you and met you.
What brought me to Denver, Colorado?
Yeah. Why like again, most people will say, why would you leave South Florida in Miami basically to come to cold, snowy Denver, Colorado?
Denver was more my speed. Like it was over in every aspect of life. Like it was more my speed. Like
Okay.
living outside, like just the people, like the weather, shit. Like I could go on for days. Like I love Denver. But when I first decided to move out there, like it was on a whim. Like I didn't know that I was gonna like it and enjoy it as much as I do right now. Cause I mean, I thought I was gonna love Florida forever. South Florida, like I'm like, it's South Florida,
Exactly.
like this is where I'm at and this is where I'll be until I die. And then, like there's a lot of things more. There are a lot more factors to places that make a place great, like
Yeah.
than just like what you see. So Denver has a lot of good qualities, and I really love Denver so far. The 2 years that I've been there, like I said, as far as training, the training partners, like the team culture, like and everything outside of my training is like wonderful too. So like the whole like aspect of life is just I feel like I have a better quality of life out here than I have had any other place.
And speak to that a little bit. You said the quality of your team, quality of training, and such. You are a part of Team Elevation that is based out of Denver, Colorado, which has probably the biggest stable of up and coming and obviously current world champions in Justin Gaethje, interim world champions. My mistake. Basically in the city. Yeah, it's the same thing to me, But to tell him that.
My sorry.
But yeah, speak to the team a little bit, man, and kind of what they've helped you with and what they mean to you.
I would say like mainly just like my expression of myself. Like it's a very great place for growth. Like like you can focus on your training, you can focus on yourself, and the people who are experienced fighters in the gym, they just have a lot of good knowledge, and they lead by example. Like like not even from a knowledge standpoint of them just talking all the time. Like you just watch the way they train, you watch the way they fight, and there's a lot to be learned if you are observative. But not only that, they're just good people. Like I hang out with them. Like I enjoy hanging out with them outside of the gym. So like right now, like I get a lot from them. Like not I can't really put it all into words, but I get a lot from them because I live in the gym. I train all the time. And now they've become the people that I hang out with outside of the gym. So like there's a lot of time spent together, but it's like spent in good company, very, very good company. So, you know, dang, you kind of muted, bro. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Say something.
So let's get into the resume just a little bit. Actually, I want to start with your most recent fight.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I can hear you now. Dang.
Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
I can hear you. It's lagging though.
What about now?
Yeah, it's lagging kind of bad.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, but yeah, I can hear you. The video is a little behind.
Okay, I think there's just a little lag. Um, okay, so speaking to okay, that